Good morning and welcome to the Planning Officer hearing for June 19, 2013. My name is Eric Krause and I'll be conducting the hearing as hearing officer. We have two cases today and relevant exhibits are posted on the panels located directly behind me. The first case involves a standards variance for signs. The second case involves a conditional use permit to allow the sale, service, and consumption of beer and wine at an existing restaurant. Relevant exhibits for both cases are posted on the panels directly behind me. Under the provisions of Title 30, Chapter 30.43 of the Glendale Municipal Code, a variance shall be granted if 4 required findings are present. These findings and a discussion of these findings are included in the staff report. Under the provisions for Title 30, Chapter 30.42 of the Glendale Municipal Code, a conditional use permit shall be granted if 4 required findings are present. And for applications involving the sale, service, or consumption of alcoholic beverages, there are 5 criteria that shall be considered in making the required 4 findings. These findings and a discussion of the findings are included in the staff report. If the evidence is presented in the application and at the hearing meets the criteria, then the planning hearing officer can either approve or impose conditions for approval on cases in question. If the findings and facts are not evident, then the request will be denied. Notification of this hearing was accomplished by the use of public notices, which were mailed to property owners and occupants located within 500 feet of the subject properties, physically posted on the site in question, and placed in the local newspaper. The hearing will proceed as follows. I'll read the description of the requested entitlements. The case planner will make a brief overview of the case, give analysis, and make a recommendation. The applicant will be asked to come forward stating both name and address, and will be asked to present the case within a 15-minute time limit. Others in support or in opposition to the application and interested parties will be asked to come forward to speak, stating both name and address within a 3-minute time limit. Lastly, the applicant will be given the opportunity to make closing comments, if desired, in response to the testimony given by preceding speakers within a 5-minute time limit. The hearing will be closed and the cases will be taken under submission. After the hearing, the decision will be prepared in writing and will be in the form of a letter sent to the applicant and to all persons who responded to the public notice, either by speaking at the hearing or by submitting written responses and have provided their name and mailing address. The date of the decision will be the date appearing on the letter. Under the appeal provisions of Title 30, Chapter 30.62 of the Glendale Municipal Code, the decision may be appealed to the Planning Commission within 15 days of the date of the decision. Anyone wishing to appeal may obtain forms and brochures from Room 101 in the MSB Municipal Service Building, this building right here. If you wish to speak, please write your name and address on one of the speaker cards and present that to our planning assistant. I'd like to also inform everyone that the proceedings of this case and the hearing are being recorded as part of public record. Our first case today is case number PVAR 1311293, located at 1812 Verdugo Boulevard. The applicant is USC Verdugo Hills Medical, or Verdugo Hills Hospital. The case planner is Brad Collin. It's an application for a standards variance to construct directional signs that are taller and are larger than the code allows. The project is located in the C3 High District 3 district with the PPD, precise plan of development zones. Mr. Collin, may I have the staff report, please?
Thank you, Mr. Krause. As mentioned, the subject project is located at 1812 Verdugo Boulevard. The property is bounded by Verdugo Boulevard on the north, the 2 freeway to the west, a parking lot which is owned by the hospital to the east, and Hillside to the south. The hospital is located on a hillside and follows the hill as you go from lower to higher. The driveway that accesses the hospital is about 525 feet long. The state regulates what is required to be on signs in the hospital, as well as, which includes information and ownership of the sign. But because of the hospital being located on a hill, it's difficult for patrons as well as patients to find the hospital and its related parking easily. So the hospital is proposing directional signs that are both taller and larger in order to make it easier for those patrons and patients accessing the hospital to better find their desired location. The code requires a maximum sign area of 4 square feet for directional signs as well as 4 feet in height above the parking surface. The applicant is proposing 15 square feet and 30 square feet and have a height of 6 feet and 8 feet above the parking surface. This will better allow the patients and patrons to find their way throughout the property, and due to the slope of the lot, the length of the driveway, the way the hospital is situated, and also the fact that the hospital is unique in its use, that staff believes that the 4 findings can be made to allow for the greater height and area for these directional signs. Staff has not received any phone calls or letters, either in favor or opposition to the application. And as mentioned, staff recommends approval based off of the findings and conditions that are listed in your packet. That concludes my presentation. I'm available for any questions.
Great. Thank you. At this time, I don't have any questions at the moment. I'm going to go ahead and call up the applicant's representative is Tony Blakeu. You have 15 minutes to present your case.
Good morning. My name is Tony Blakely, and I represent Verdugo Hills Hospital, which is located at 1812 Verdugo Boulevard. This facility has a hospital. It has 2 medical office buildings, has an emergency room with a safe baby surrender requirement. It is also mandated by the state of California Department of Public Health, that hospitals have the proper wayfinding, which is critical for a healthcare setting where patrons are often distracted and disoriented as a result of a life-threatening illness. The subject property has multiple uses, ranging from emergency room, acute care hospital, and medical office building. And as it will both improve, this will improve wayfinding, support community awareness of the USC Verdugo Hills integration, and provide a medical campus environment that the community can be proud of. Because we seek to communicate the minimum required information in a clear and concise way, in a format that meets the state requirement. This is a merger between USC and the Verdugo Hills Hospital, and our patrons, they need, by state mandate, they need to actually know that this hospital is going to be under new affiliation, new ownership. That's all I have. Thank you.
I did have a couple of real quick questions. In terms of the directional signs that you're seeking the variances for, are those basically all kind of the same size in terms of height and area and all that kind of stuff? It looks,
Oh, the directional signs?
the ones that the directional signs.
Yes,
I mean, it
they
looks
are.
like they're all pretty much the
Yes,
same size and
6
scale
and 8
and
feet.
everything
So
else.
yes, they are.
And those are primarily located on the campus, not...
They're actually on the campus.
Okay, yeah.
Correct.
Now, in terms of lighting for the signs, are they going to be internally lit? Is that
They're going to be backlit.
backlit? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, in terms of, there wasn't a whole lot of conditions. I don't know that there's any additional ones that would be required for this type of project. Have you looked through the 4 conditions that are being recommended? Do you have any comments about those?
No, I do not.
You're okay with all those
Okay
conditions?
with them. Yes.
Okay. I don't have any other cards for anyone else to speak. I don't have any other questions at this time.
Okay, thank you.
Does staff wish to add any additional comments?
No, sir.
Okay, at this time, just based on the requirements from the state and the idea of the location of signs, the fact that they're not going to be essentially visible from the street, and they're essentially critical to the hospital in terms of people getting direction and knowing where to go, especially in emergency situations. At this point, I'm going to go ahead and approve the proposed variances for PV, the case number PVAR 1311293. So today is January 19th, 2013. That'll be the approval date, and the 15-day appeal will start from this date forward. Thank you. Our second case on the agenda today is, let's see here. It's located at 123 East Colorado Street in Unit D. It's conditional use permit case number PCUP 1306481. The applicant is me, Jeong Kim, and Kathy Duarte is the case planner. This is an application for a conditional use permit to allow the on-site beer and wine sale, service, and consumption at an existing full-service restaurant that's within the C3 Height District 1 zone. I have a staff report, please.
Thank you, Hearing Officer Kraus. The property is located on the northwest corner of Colorado Street and Adams Street. The site contains a 3,465 square foot building with 4 tenant spaces currently occupied by a cell phone store, massage services occupant, ink refill store, and full service restaurant, which is the applicant Sushi GP. The building was constructed in 1952 with no parking. There are 9 non-conforming parking spaces and non-conforming parking lot landscaping. Access to the site is provided by driveways on Colorado Street and Adams Street. Sushi GP has operated as a full-service restaurant since 2012 and is proposing to operate in the same manner, but with the sale of beer and wine. A full-service restaurant has operated in this unit since 2004. There were no previous conditional use permits approved for this location. The hours of operation are 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Sunday, and 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. Friday and Saturday. Comments were submitted by the police department describing the number of businesses that sell alcohol and the number of crimes. However, they did not submit any objections to this request. The Glendale Fire Department noted that the subject property has some outstanding violations that need to be corrected, and these are included in the conditions of approval. The Neighborhood Services section noted that a new permit shall be obtained for the sign over the front entrance, as the current permit has expired. And staff did receive 2 letters in opposition to this application. Staff concurs with the applicant's arguments and recommends approving the conditional use permit request. And if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Great, thanks very much. At this time, I'm going to open it up to the applicant. You have 15 minutes to go over your case. Ms. Seung, Stella Kim? Ms. Seung, is that? Hopefully I pronounced that correctly.
You can call me Stella.
Okay. So if you can come up to the mic and then state your name and address of the business, I'd appreciate it.
My name is Mi-jung Kim. The address 17843 Hiawatha Street, Granada Hills, California 91344.
Okay, could you just kind of quickly go over the required findings for your case? Do you have a copy of the application?
Yes. The restaurant is in the existing malls, and then there's a existing establishment is located in the C3 zones. The existing use is consistent with the various elements of the general plan and the specific plan for the area, which is a commercial retail service use and a permitted use in the zoning, subject to the approval of the CUP. Our restaurant is a dining restaurant, small restaurant. We don't have any patios out sitting outside, and typical Japanese restaurant quiet, so it doesn't disturb neighbors. And also the parking, we don't disturb the way of the traffics, not create any other problems. Is on offside parking is permitted, and also we are not create an impact on any traffic patterns in different way. And also our customers, and most of our customers are coming in the local. Then many customers want to enjoy their dining enjoyment with some alcohol beverage like beer or sake, but we cannot provide. So if we have the permit, the CUP, then we can provide convenience for the customers. Mm-hmm. And also, nearby our restaurant, there's 12 restaurant has a beer and wine license. very nearby, and then stores and how requires a license. And as long as I know, I'm as a manager, and I have experience with beer and wine license 3 years in other restaurant. So with that experience, if we have a permit, and we'll keep all the regulation and the rules, and we'll do our responsibilities, and then we will not create problems with the neighbors doing that, the management and control the customers. For example, if we observe customers, and then if someone asks more alcoholic than with the dining enjoyment, then we will refuse the service for alcohol.
Okay. Okay, that's it? Okay. I don't see I don't have any of the cards for others to speak. I did have a few questions of you. We did receive a couple letters in opposition, and reviewing those letters, they're specifically concerned with drunk driving, essentially. I guess there's quite a few accidents kind of near that corner.
Okay.
So I guess the question is there's a bar located in your floor plan. I see that there's a bar there. I'm assuming that that's strictly a sushi bar, not necessarily just for a bar for someone to come in and drink. Correct? Okay. So the beer and wine sales is going to be incidental to the actual consumption of food and all that fun stuff. Yeah. You wouldn't recognize that you're not going to open this place as kind of like a tavern type of thing where you serve beer. It's more of a restaurant that happens to serve alcohol as part of the restaurant use.
Yeah, when we opened this restaurant, our main menu is sushi and rolls, and we have all-you-can menu. So we thought just a soft drink and iced tea, those water is enough with the customers' need with our food. But we find out soon is in a day, over 30% the customers stop by or they call, and then they find out that we don't have a license. We cannot serve beer and sake with the food, and then they just leave. So we realized that we needed that for customer convenience. And also drink and drive issue was with the state, same thing. And then Sacramento Legal Department rejected the protest because there's besides us, and there's other restaurants, and then I think it's how management, we know how this license is important to our restaurant and to customer, so we'll keep this license very wisely, and we are not a bar, we are just a restaurant. We don't want to create our sales just selling more alcoholics. We want to sell our fresh and quality food to the customer, and then they want our food enjoy with their interest. So I don't think it will be create any problem.
Okay. Now, the parking lot configuration is a little strange for that site. So
Yeah.
I'm not sure, I mean, where do your employees and where do your patrons actually end up parking?
We parking on this street, and then our employees is come with a bike from local, and then the other person has the family to drop off like that. So we didn't have much problem. And also our restaurant is small, and we don't have so many. I wish we have, but we don't have many customers, so we didn't have any parking issues so far.
Okay, so do you think like a majority of the customers come from the neighborhood and they're kind of walking to your store? Or the
Many
restaurant?
customers walking to, and or they are local people. They use the parking on the off-site. So we didn't hear any complaint about parking.
Okay, you haven't had any kind of complaints? I don't see that the police had any kind of concerns with the existing restaurants. So. Okay. In terms of the conditions, there's a series of conditions that are being proposed for the CUP application. Have you read through all the conditions that were included in the staff report?
Yes.
I want to make sure that you guys are okay with these because they seem to be pretty standard for restaurants serving alcohol. I want to make sure that you're going to be able to comply with those.
Yes, we'll meet all the code by city and state, and then we'll do our responsibility and obligation.
And I mean, the current hours of operation that are being suggested are the ones you're using now. It's 10 to 10 Monday through Thursday, Friday and Saturday till 11.
Yes.
So you guys are you open on Sundays or?
Yes, we
Okay.
do. Sunday is the same thing.
So it'd be 10
11 to 10.
Okay.
Only Friday, Saturday, 11 to 11.
Okay. Do you have anything else you wish to add at this point?
I wish we can have permission.
Oh, yeah. Anything from staff at this point? Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and take this case under submission. I'll be rendering a decision within the next few days. And that is it for today. That concludes today's hearing. Thank you for coming.